and beautiful people. This is Kiki coming to you today to send nothing but love, peace, and positivity your way. I decided to share a little bit of my morning routine. I kind of just started it. I learned about this special tea that I'm about to share with you guys from Dr. Bobby Bryce. I have been dealing with a lot of achy joints, and I don't know, I guess that might have something to do with just aging, and I believe it is hereditary in my family. The older women seems to deal with a lot of arthritis, including my father. So I try to do whatever I can to ease my pain. I think rainy days is more intense than the regular days without, rainy weather. I also experienced a spine injury because when I was working for a school and they hired this woman, a white woman, they did not realize she suffered from different mental health issues. And one particular day, she ended up having some type of nervous breakdown during a fire drill, and she was carrying one of my students, and she lost control of the student and almost fell face forward on the school concrete, and I ended up reaching out trying to protect her and the student. So of course it was a great heroic situation, but at the same time now I have to deal with long-term issues within my back. So I've been trying different remedies. One of the things that I've been taking, I just started taking this supplement, some type of supplement, Walmart. And it shows that it helps with inflammatory and promotes cardiovascular, immune, and joint and skin health. So I have noticed a big difference in my skin, but I'm still waiting for the joint part to kick in. So to double up on pain relief, I decided to make a special tea using sea salt, lime, and I have cloves and ginger, and I was going to chop it up a little bit and add it to my tea. I know it's not going to probably be the best taste, but I do have agave, so hopefully I'll add a little tap of that in case it's unbearable. So I'll let you know how it's going, and I'll be back in touch. Alrighty, so it's all mixed in, and it's time for me to take it on down. It does have a very distinguished taste. I think the cloves are fighting more strong. I might have to add a little tad bit of agave, and we'll continue to talk because I'm getting ready to head out to do some spiritual cleaning. So yeah, it's spiritual cleaning day. It is a full moon, and stay tuned, and I will share with you some tips on what I do when I have the time and I want to set manifestations in place using the full moon. All right, I chugged the tea down like a boss, and probably something I wouldn't do every morning, but I felt like last night I was very achy and I did not want to have to keep taking a leave for my back pain. So getting ready to head on out. Got my apple slices, and I'll tell you why I decided to bring apple slices, and stay with me. All right, I'm back, and before I go and take my spiritual dip out here in the ocean, I wanted to share with you some tips, some things I researched, and you can research yourself on how to conduct a full moon ritual. Everybody can do this ritual. This is not anything related to casting spells or doing something demonic. This is something even religious Christians can do, Catholics can do it, Hindu, Buddhism, whatever you associate with, anybody can do this ritual, okay? I'm always about love and light. So whatever I do, that is my goal. I never come on here to talk about how to damage somebody else's life because I feel like karma does a good job at that. So if you do research the Aquarius moon, because I think it's in Aquarius season or something like that, and like I said, you can do your own research on it. These are some of the things they recommend that you do. All right. First off, they require you to clean your space. So for me, I decided, I'm always using sage and Palo Santos in my home, but which kind of drives my kids crazy. My son be like, something burning in here. And I was like, well, it's some natural stuff. It ain't that marijuana stuff. But what you can do is clear out your space. And I still carry it with me. Matter of fact, I keep it on me. I keep my little sage and my Palo Santos with me in my car because, even though it mentions, it's the airplane, that is good to burn in your house, a lot of times I'm not home, and if I'm under a lot of stress and frustration, I will burn it in my vehicle, especially if I had a hard day at work and I need to. And the good thing about this, it doesn't last. It's not like as potent as marijuana. It's not like it kind of stays within your skin. So a lot of times I have to do what I need to do to relieve that negative energy. All right. So kind of let it air out too. All right. So cleansing your energy. I'm getting ready to go and take a salt bath, and that is going to the beach. You can make your own salt bath at home. Fill up your tub, use Himalaya salt or sea salt in your water. You can add other herbs and liquids and oils. You can use Florida water. You can use what kind of oil? If you need to relax, lavender oil. Those are different things you can put in your water. And I think if you scroll, did I make a video? No, I posted it on my Facebook page because I was talking about all of the things that you can get from Stone Age, which is a metaphysical store in Tallahassee. It's a really very, very nice, well-organized store, friendly people, and great tools that you can use in that store. All right. Also, the ritual requires you to write out a list of things that have been bothering you. So you can start off by writing, I release these burdens to make room for my growth. And so you can list down your own list of what you feel that is things that's a burden in your life. So for me, these are some things that I'm not going to read the whole list because I really want to make sure I get in this water before it starts to get crowded out here. I should have came out a little earlier, but I was trying to make sure things were set at home, situated at home. So one of the main things I wrote is fear of change or the unknown. A lot of times that can hinder growth, that can hinder explorations, and that can also slow up your blessings. So, and whether you are dealing with fear with moving to another area, leaving a job, going to another job, leaving a relationship, and making room for self-love or somebody better, no matter what, or changing religion, or walking away from those family gatherings that's full of negativity and complaints and judgmental things, you can walk away from that. But a lot of people walk around in fear of change. So for me, I don't want to be second guessing myself. I don't want to do anything that's not going to serve my purpose and my growth here while I'm on earth. So that's one of the things I wrote out. As you know, Sagittarius, we're known for being impulsive folks. When we run into some things, it can, sometimes we don't really, it's like there are moments when we don't think things completely through and we just kind of dive out there and try it out. Just like there were times where I took a chance and I went out of town when I knew I only had a little bit of money, and I was like praying, because it's always good to have extra money just in case your tire blow out, just in case something happened where you need to get a ride to the gas station. It's always good to carry extra money on you. And for me, I took a chance with a little bit of money, but it was for a good purpose. It was, I had to go check on my youngins. So I want to be a little bit more organized before I decide to jump out and do something impulsive. Also, and that also ties into the lack of control, learning how to have more control over my desires and my urges, with temptation, with, some nice looking bodies and or sweets. I told you that is something that I developed an addiction of sweets early on. This was an addiction that somebody else gave me, because I was told that there were times where my mom used to put sugar and water together and give it to me. And I don't know if it was to help me with my bowel movement, or so maybe I ran out of formula. I don't know what it was, but I just know every single day, it's like my urge for sweets start to kick in, and I have to really, really control it, or I'll try to eat some fruit to help cut down that urge to want to go and get something unhealthy. What else? I also wrote in people pleasing. That was one of my struggles, because I always wanted to fit in, because I always felt like an outcast in my own family. When I hung around my cousins, I was the most sensitive one. I was the one that was goofy and clumsy, and always had an accident and was crying, and everybody got in trouble because I was always crying. Because I used to love to climb trees. I was a tom girl, but still very, very girly and sensitive at the same time. And so because of that, and I recognize that, and see, this is a part of healing your childhood trauma, because when you go back and stop being afraid or blaming other people, but really evaluate what situation you were in, and kind of just, take it for what it is, and knowing how to come out of that same mindset, because we can bring that childhood mindset in our adulthood, and that can really fuck us up. So, abandonment, that lack mindset. If you grew up in the projects, I grew up in the projects, and I always felt like, okay, every little dime I got, I was very generous, but at the same time, I always had anxiety of, oh my God, will I have enough? Will I have enough? So that is another thing that I wrote in that I would like to release. And self-sabotaging. Sometimes when I'm around people, especially on my job, I already have this barrier up, thinking that somebody's out to get me, and I didn't even give them a chance to get me. It's like I already know, okay, here goes some bullshit. Somebody gonna either hate on me, or they gonna judge me, or they gonna try to get me fired. So I'm already like in that mindset, and I know that's not a good mindset to be in, because sometimes we may get lucky and run across some real, genuine, good-hearted people. So I'm working on not sabotaging my relationship with others. And you will have discernment after a while. When you get tapped in, the spirit team, they will show you who got your back, who's cool, who's in your corner, and who you need to cut off in a heartbeat. And sometimes, as much as it hurt, you may have to cut off people you've been knowing for years, or people you really care about and love, and be okay with starting over or being solo. Sometimes your blood family, they're here temporarily just to do a certain job within your life, and then after a while their time expires, and then it's time for you to go out and connect with other people. So you may run into maybe a woman that's full of wisdom, that's very respectful, that's very inspiring, and that might replace your own mama if you didn't have that growing up. Or if you run into a man that's very just well put together, and very kind and respectful and positive, that might be a person that can replace your father, or maybe your lover. So that's what I'm saying. You just gotta really use discernment as you navigate through this world, especially with your awakening, and leaving all the old things behind, traditions and things that just doesn't serve you. And you got to know what is helpful and what's really not. So once you finish your list, you are to go and connect with nature. So you can either go outside, ground yourself, make sure you put on mosquito spray, because they're gonna be waiting, especially over here in Florida. This is kind of what I've been dealing with. This is actually, hold on y'all. I've been putting tea tree oil on it. Do not put alcohol on your bug bites, because they leave scars. I had to learn that the hard way. But if you have fair skin like me, probably tea tree oil, and try not to scratch it. So when you go outside, you do your grounding, you meditate, you look at the moon, you read and speak orally, verbally, the list out that you are trying to release. You have your lighter. You may need a little metal container or something that's safe to use to burn the paper in, and then you toss the ashes out somewhere in the bushes or somewhere under a tree. So that's how you can use the moon ritual if you would like to make changes in your life. I know a lot of people, especially Christians, they feel like, okay, I can just go to the altar and pray my problems away. And I'm not saying that that's not beneficial. I'm just saying there are other alternatives if you find that that's not working fast enough for you, because I know for me, it is draining. When I was going to church, I used to pray for the same thing. And it was like, dog, I prayed for this last week and I still don't see changes. So I'm crying, snotting out my nose. And then, people were saying, why don't you get on your knees and call Jesus? Just keep calling Terry. And I'm like, no, I have to hurt my knees just to. So I just figured, for me, I just needed to connect with nature and make changes happen in my life. Now, I'm going to tell you this. There are some people that are carrying too many spiritual demons within them, around them. And to the point to where they have consumed their heart and their chakras. So you got to go through a process of releasing those demons in order for you to actually bring about change in your life. And I'm not lying, I'm serious. Like, if you have severe addictions, you know, sometimes going to church will help, but there are other things that you have to do to get rid of those demons, or they're going to continue to come back. They're going to look for every little weak spot that you have in your aura, and they're going to dash on in. And you already know when one demon come in with one addiction, then it calls in the other addictions. So if you have an addiction of alcohol, then most likely it's going to call an addiction of lust, and then it's going to call an addiction of somebody deceptive, and they're going to invite their demons in. So you got to make sure that you clear out your demons, because you know, a lot of people walk around hating on other people, trying to figure out, well, why she got this, or why I don't have it, and I'm smarter than her, and I'm wealthier than her, and I look better than her, and they trying to figure out why shit don't go well in their life. And that's because they're already walking around with a demon of enviness and jealousy. And then on top of that, what that person did may work because that person's heart isn't heavy. They're not walking around with a whole lot of demons versus what somebody else may have. So also keep that in mind. Just like when you eat pork isn't healthy for me, but somebody else might can eat it and may be able to, you know, carry and be a great host for the parasites. So I'm saying, I know the side effects for me, and it may not work. It may not be the same for somebody else. So just keep that in mind. Don't come out here trying to rush things and your mind is on something negative, or you trying to come out here with some dark magic and cast spells and be evil and deceptive and trying to hurt somebody else and thinking that these manifestations are going to work, because what's going to happen is they're going to backfire, and then you're going to really be fucked up. Because then I heard that when you try to cast a spell on somebody, it comes back 10 times fold. I mean, I think it states it in the Bible somewhere, but you can look it up. All right, so once you are done with the burning, you will also create another list. This list will be for you to welcome in new experiences, new blessings. So these are things you would say, I am thriving in my new routine. So these are some of the things I wrote. You can write your own stuff. But I wrote, I would like to thrive in my new career, or my college courses. I just got accepted in a master's program in a nearby university. So these are things that I would hope that works out for me, so I can get that mess over with, because I'm already schooled out. It is crazy when you go to college for so many years, and then you come out with a degree to go back into a classroom. I know it's crazy, but hey, that's just what I did. Also managing your money and not walking around with a lack mindset. You know, knowing what's really necessary and what's not. And addictions will fuck up your money, so keep that in mind. What's something else? Managing positive relationships with like-minded people. You know, when you will have that discernment to know who you need to pour energy into and who you just need to cut on off, because it's going to be wasting your time, because they're not trying to grow. And people that's not trying to grow, they're going to suck all your growth out of you just to make their life easy. So definitely be careful with that. And then there's some other things that I wrote, but those are a few things that I wanted to share with you. You can use that, or you can tweak it, make it your own, but I just wanted you to know. Oh, and to seal the manifestation, they're saying for the ritual, you will have to add a crystal quartz on it. And I have my quartz somewhere. I'm going to get ready to clean my crystals while I'm out here on the beach. So yeah, I have my little crystal in here. You can put it on there overnight on top of this list. You're not going to burn it. You're not going to rip it. You just fold it and put the crystals on top of it, or take a glass of water and put it on top and hope for the best. It doesn't really specify what type of water. For me, I like to drink distilled water because, you know, I tried to go with the spring water, which is supposed to be natural, but when you find out the process of how they get their water from the spring, it's almost like a waste. Springs are supposed to be flowing naturally. So when you get the water, you're not supposed to have a lot of machines in the water trying to suck up the water and blocking the natural flow of the water. So for me, I don't want anything that's extra contaminated, and I definitely don't drink the tap water. So I'm going to leave that with you and hope for the best. I'm going to finish, I'm going to start my ritual tonight. I think they said that for my time zone, the moon kicks in fully. Well, it actually kicked in this morning, 10 a.m. this morning, Central Time. So once nighttime come in, then I'll go outside, make sure I have my little bug spray, and do my ritual. And then I brought in my apples because not that I was going to eat a few pieces, but also I was going to give a sacrifice. They call it it's almost like a libation. to the ocean. They say you can leave like fruit, something that's food related on the edge. It can be food related or natural elements, anything related on the edge of the ocean, so it can kind of wash it back into the water. And that is that just signifies that the water is accepting, nature is accepting what you're having to offer. Another way you can give reverence, and this is another way you can give reverence to ancestors. You can clean up the earth, that you see people picking up trash and stuff like that off the beach or off, at state parks and stuff like that. Planting seeds and pouring, taking care of the plants. There are different things you can do, but for me, since I'm already here at the beach, I'm just going to leave, some apple slices and just kind of relax and let my cleansing begin. Hopefully it's not as crowded. It seems like it is, because it is summertime, so it is sometimes hard to find a spot that's peaceful. That's why I said I wish I would have came out here earlier, probably like 9 o'clock this morning. So I'm going to come out here for about an hour and take care of business with my ancestors, with nature, and then I'll be in touch with you guys soon. So love you, stay positive, believe in your God power within, and stay out of trouble. Peace out. I think I found a great video spot. Yay! Oh my goodness, I'm trying to enjoy this time off, because I know next month it's about to get crazy, going back to work, traveling, and going to school. But I made it this far, and I gotta push through. So I'm gonna try to bring you along on my journey as a woman that was broken in pieces through trauma from family, abuse in marriage, and starting over as a single mother, as a mid-ager. So yeah, stay tuned.